Before there were megapixels or Instagram, long before Kodak or Polaroids, there was Canaletto. He was a local kid whose dad painted theater backdrops, but he loved to work outdoors, setting his easel on the banks of the canals and developing a mastery of perspective and light. He grew rich, selling his landscapes to Englishmen on their grand tours of Europe. And to this day, his precision is so striking, the skyline so similar, it sometimes feels like standing inside a Canaletto. But 268 years later, there are a couple subtle but hugely important and controversial changes. For one, we now have a giant construction crane turning the old post office into a high-end shopping mall. And for another, there is the level of the water. Scientists have used these 18th century paintings to prove that Venice has been steadily sinking for centuries. But it sank faster in recent years when aquifers were tapped to build massive petrochemical plants on the mainland nearby. That sinking, along with rising seas, means Canaletto would be in for a shock if he walked some of his old neighborhoods on a chilly day like this one. Historically, you could have walked through this without stooping? Is that years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. And also they try to put an upper lever just to help the people come in,
right,
but it was not sufficient.
Michele Gervasutti is a native Venetian with a quick, hilarious intellect and a knowledge of the locals-only joints that open early come hell or high water. Here's to Venice. Acqua Alta Breakfast of Champions. Tiziana, Bill. Ciao, ciao. So how many Acqua Altas have you seen?
No, esta última settimana 7 giorni.
Do you have webbed feet like a duck?
Sì, sì.
Amphibio.
Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck.
But you never, it's never high enough to close. You don't...
No.
Meno lavoro, ma insomma.
Less work.
Less work.
Less money.
Yeah. While some stay closed during Acqua Alta, others embrace their low-lying fate as a virtue. And there's no better example than Acqua Alta, the world's dampest bookstore. Clean up on aisle 6. Most bookshop owners would see this as a sign from God that they should move their shop. But this is part of your appeal, right?
Yes, Venice is like that.
Does it ever get old? Does it ever get exhausting?
Yes, it's because we have to book the books up when depends how high it's coming. You see, I have many bathroom, both, so they...
Right, yeah. Yes, bizarro bathtubs as bookshelves, the only kind used to keep water out. Waterlogged inventory? Turn it into a staircase for tourists. Use the books as steps. But homeowners like Francesco don't really have that option.
Careful because it's a little wobbling here.
A little wobbly? No, they live with maintenance headaches most can't imagine.
You see, we have the high tide every day now. This is the phenomenon that there's more water coming in.
Oh my gosh, look at this. This is your foyer.
Yeah, full of rats.
Incredible.
And crumbling things.
Oh no, it's gorgeous, my gosh.
Yeah, the guy that built this house was the same that did the Rialto Bridge.
No kidding.
Yeah.
And you were born in this house?
I was born here, yes. So I remember the big floods inside here. It was all full of water.
Nel centro storico di Venezia, dove I danni sono incalcolabili.
He remembers November 1966, the most devastating Acqua Alta of all, when the water reached 6 feet 4 inches above normal and stayed there for 2 days. It is still known as La Lunga Notte, The Long Night. And the man in charge of the city's artwork said in 36 hours, Venice aged 100 years.
e le dighe protettive.
And I remember here the water was high, like, I think the first 5 steps.
First 5 steps.
Everything.
So chest deep water.
Yeah. Then you understand why even a lot of people had to move, because the ground floor are not livable so much anymore.
Right. The 66 flood woke the city to a modern threat and sparked a decades-long debate on how to keep rising seas out of Venice Lagoon. Finally, in the early 80s, they settled on a radical idea. They would block the 3 inlets with a system of massive gates mounted to hinges on the ocean floor. Filled with air, the gates would rise and create a temporary seawall. They called it Mose, Italian for Moses, a guy known for parting the sea and protecting the faithful. It would take decades. It would cost billions. It would be the most ambitious engineering project in modern times. And in 2014, it would land the mayor of Venice in jail. So we should probably go have a look.